We got some big Trump legal news just recently breaking. In addition to relating to that news, a pretty bonkers in-court situation that I want to break down. I'll bring in Aaron Parnes, our legal expert. Good to be with you, Aaron. So give us the rundown of what the heck's going on here.
Well, Luke, Trump's going to trial and there's nothing he can do to stop it. That is the biggest headline from today. Today in New York, there was a preliminary status conference over the district attorney's prosecution over the Stormy Daniels hush money payments. And during the status conference, the judge essentially ruled that Trump is going to trial on March 25th, which is in just about 6 weeks. And he's not going to move the trial date. Not just that, the judge denied Trump's motion to dismiss in full. The case will continue no matter what Trump will try to do. And this is pretty big because there's no delay tactics that Trump can throw out here. He can't appeal this decision right now to delay the trial date. He's going to trial in 6 weeks, and we all get to just spectate at this point.
So you said it, but I'll say again for the audience, this is, since there's so many to keep up with, New York, the Alvin Bragg, Manhattan District Attorney, Stormy Daniels, hush money, falsifying business records case, and that absolutely has to happen. You're saying March 25th is the trial date?
March 25th is the date, and we saw in D.C. when Judge Chutkan set her trial date, for example, Trump filed a motion to dismiss on immunity grounds, and that's now going up to the Supreme Court, so that delayed that trial date. Here, because these actions took place actually before Trump was president, it was, I believe, when he was still a candidate, there were no immunity arguments asserted. So immunity is not an issue here. This is not a situation where Trump can just appeal the denial of the motion to dismiss to stay the trial date. The trial is going forward, barring really unforeseen circumstances here.
Right. And that's something that we've already observed and will continue to across all of his cases. Trump and his team are doing everything they can to delay, because it seems to be Trump's primary hope of avoiding prison is becoming president of the United States again. He feels like he could avert his legal troubles in that way. And so the dream for him is pushing these past the election. But now that's actually nearly impossible because this has been set really good to hear. Plus, I'll add the context that, as we've talked about in past segments, the prospect of a conviction does really hurt Trump in the polls, which, as I've said before, it's a little strange. People even need to see that because, especially on the democracy-related cases, it seems to be something that we already have enough information to make a political determination. We'll see what the legal one is, but that's what the data shows on this. And then how long, Aaron, will this trial likely take?
Yeah, so actually in court today, that they estimated about 6 weeks. And the reason for this estimation was actually Trump is scheduled to go to trial in Florida over the Mar-a-Lago documents case in May. That's when the current trial date is set. So the goal would be here to have this case over and done with by the end of April, early May at the latest. I can't imagine this case being that long because it's a very small set of conduct that he's actually charged with. It's also, in my opinion, one of the stronger cases because unlike the other cases, Trump's state of mind doesn't really come to play here. This is a documents case. The documents will prove the case for Alvin Bragg. So expect 6 weeks and then probably a few days for jury deliberations, and then we'll see what happens.
We'll get to a pretty bonkers anecdote from the courtroom today, but I do want to quickly ask if you can speculate on this. What, as you said, it's going to come down to the documents. What do you expect Trump's defense could even be here?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, a lot of this defense is going to be centered around that he's just going to claim he did nothing wrong. He's going to claim that it's a political prosecution. You're going to really see kind of the E. Jean Carroll defense kind of come out here as well, because this to him is very personal. A big part of the DA's case is also Michael Cohen, and expect Trump to really rip into Cohen when Cohen's on the witness stand, call Cohen a liar, really pin this on Cohen, not on Trump. So you're going to see those types of themes follow through. This is very different from the January 6 cases or the Mar-a-Lago document case. Where Trump does have some better defenses here, his defense is really just going to be, I didn't do it. This was all Michael Cohen. This was all someone else. So we'll see if that works. I doubt it, though.
Gotcha. Yeah. I interjected a little bit there, but it didn't seem to work too effectively in the Eugene Carroll cases. So then tell us now about the situation that broke out in court as this trial date was being set.
Yeah, so it actually, Trump actually outside of the courtroom started talking about, musing about NATO and countries funding NATO and all that stuff. But he also said something interesting. He said that he shouldn't have had to spend his day in a courtroom in Manhattan. He should have been campaigning in South Carolina. But we now know, according to fact checkers, that not only did Trump not have any events planned in South Carolina today, he was never going to be there in the first place. But second, Trump didn't have to be in the courtroom today. His appearance was completely voluntary. Defendants, unless you're going to trial, all the pretrial hearings, you almost certainly waive your appearance. No one really shows up, just the attorneys, because you're just dealing with a lot of preliminary things. Trump didn't have to be there. He did it as a spectacle and just for political purposes, nothing more.
We don't know what's going to happen. We want delays. Obviously, I'm running for election. How can you run for election and be sitting in a courthouse in Manhattan all day long? I'm supposed to be in South Carolina right now, where other people are, and where, again, this is where I should be. I shouldn't be in a courthouse for something that virtually every legal scholar says they don't understand it, there's no crime. Even if he was guilty of something, there's no crime. So I will say that enjoy it. It's a sad thing. It's a sad day for New York.
And we've seen this time and time again. He comes out and complains about them sabotaging his campaign by forcing him to be at the court when he's just very literally not forced to be at the court, and he's doing that to himself. But then he loves being able to perceive or have his followers perceive him as the victim in that situation. And then how did the lawyers of Trump handle this trial date being set where it is?
They were upset, to say the least. Todd Blanche, Trump's lead attorney, called the trial date a, quote, grave injustice, said that it was election interference. They were very upset in the courtroom. At one point, the judge had to tell them to sit down, kind of like he did or a different judge previously did with Alina Abba. Trump's attorneys were very upset. And it's not surprising because their whole tactic here was to delay, and now they're not getting their delay anymore.
Aaron, where can people find you?
On all my social media platforms, just at Aaron Parnes.
And to make sure, everyone, you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you want extra content, such as the Daily Bonus Show, you can go to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and I'll talk to you next time.